It's surprising when you look back. Lil Kim was one of the first people to try and warn others about Diddy years ago, but nobody paid attention. She also spoke out about Biggie, and at that time, people just laughed at her. Now things are changing. More celebrities are starting to share what they experienced while working with Diddy. In the past, it was mostly voices like Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright who came forward with stories, but many brushed them off as if they were just being dramatic.
Diddy told her he was going to.
Gene Deal went as far as to say that Diddy intentionally brought Biggie to Los Angeles, knowing that something bad would happen to him there.
How you feel about the people that say Biggie was asking for him coming to LA so soon after Tupac got killed, and him getting on the radio rapping Long Kiss Goodnight?
Why would you do that?
It was the same situation with Lil Kim back then. People brushed off what she said and didn't give her words much weight. But now, with so much new information coming out, some people are finally beginning to pay attention to her warnings.
Kim is more irritated with the fact that, how the situation is going down, especially what Puffy is doing. Yeah, he's darn right about that. Puffy looks crazy right now. You know what I mean? That's why I said in my book, on my show, Puffy, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to rock with anybody that hard, you should be rocking with me that hard.
This is 50.com.
If you're going to rock with anybody that hard, you know what I mean? And you could never make another Big and Kim. That's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Like, what? You kidding me? It's never going to happen. Like, I don't get it. But, at the end of the day, Puffy is Puffy. It's all about what he can do, what he can get from people. Puffy it's all about himself a lot of times, because he never really did nothing for me.
Kim and Diddy grew close during the 1990s after she became part of the group Junior Mafia, which was created by the notorious B.I.G. In fact, it was Biggie himself who first introduced Kim to Diddy. Even though Diddy was both her friend and her manager, he never actually signed her to his own label, Bad Boy Records. The reason? He didn't believe she had what it would take to become a star. At one point, he even said in an MTV interview that Kim was too pretty to be rapping, adding that female rappers usually didn't look like her.
I don't know, how'd you guys hook up? How'd you guys meet?
Oh, we met through Biggie.
Yeah, we met through Biggie.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when I first met him, I thought he didn't like me because every time he saw me, he'd lick his tongue at me or he'd make a funny face. But then as the years went by, I saw how much love he had for me. So I love you, Puff. And I'm so happy for you.
Now, let's talk a little bit about you. You hear all the guys screaming. I know the guys have groupies. The male stars definitely have groupies. Now, you must have. What kind of stuff do guys do when they come to your guys' show?
Wow, they do different things. I remember one time I was going to a show in Atlanta, and this guy came up to me and was like, "Oh, wow, Lil Kim." And he picked me up and threw me over his shoulder and started running out the airport. I was just really shocked. I wasn't really scared, though. I was just like, oh my God, did you see what he just did?
And what happened to him? No, we don't have to go there.
Kim and Diddy grew close during the 1990s after she became part of the group Junior Mafia, which was created by the notorious B.I.G. In fact, it was Biggie himself who first introduced Kim to Diddy. Even though Diddy was both her friend and her manager, he never actually signed her to his own label, Bad Boy Records. The reason? He didn't believe she had what it would take to become a star. At one point, he even said in an MTV interview that Kim was too pretty to be rapping, adding that female rappers usually didn't look like her.
Things for each other, but I judge by what happened afterwards. When I was locked up, and here's where Puffy should feel really bad. When I was locked up, Puffy never put a $10 bill, a penny, a quarter in my commissary. He never wrote me a letter. He didn't try to come see me. None of that. I got people like Oprah. She wrote me 3 letters, right? She wrote me 3 letters and sent me 3 of her favorite books, which I love her to this day for that, because those books are so inspiring. And one of them, well, I'll tell you the name of the books later, but anyway, Tyra Banks writing me. Mark Jacobs wrote me every freaking day. he told me everything that was going on from when he first woke up to the end of the night. What does it take just to say, let me make sure somebody who was a major part of my family is all right? You know, like when you locked up, the one major thing is that makes you feel like, damn, this person really loved me and is on my side is that when they just take the time out to do one little thing. It's not even the big things that matter, because it ain't the money. I was trying. You could have wrote me one letter.
As if things weren't already complicated, while Kim was serving time in prison, Diddy began working with her music rival, Nicki Minaj. When people questioned him about this, he brushed it off by saying that Nicki was his artist now, and that he no longer worked with Kim, even though he's...
A lot of people in a certain way, we've been those cats that people have aspired to be. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be around Nicki if I ever heard nothing ever negative said about Kim. You know what I'm saying? I never heard nothing like that. But then when it comes to just being an MC, that's when I gotta stand back. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they want to do things and be MCs, that's their business. I'm not with any negativity. I'm not with no beef. You know what I'm saying? And I love both of them. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you know, right now, Nicki Minaj, you know, that's who my artist is. That's who I consult. That's who I do business with. I no longer do business with Kim on that level, but Kim will always have a special place in my heart. And it's like that. Kim is the queen. I mean, read in between the lines what you want it to be. It is what it is. Kim is the queen, and I love Kim. And Nicki's the queen in her own right. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly the way I feel about it. So don't twist my words. Don't make it no way it is or it ain't. That's what it is. And I think they should be doing records together, as a matter of fact, instead of, you know, doing anything that isn't showing unification. But yo, man, I can't preach to the choir. Everybody grown. I done been through my things, and everybody was like, yo, you went through your things. People got to go through their own things. And right now, it's that dirty money time. I spoke on that, and that's what it is. And it's a positive thing, and that's what it is. Be clear.
It's Hot 97, Funk Flex, Diddy, Dirty Money.
And I will never forget the times I had with Kim. And we can have some more times, because I'm still here. Shout out to Lil Kim. Shout out to Kim. What's up, Kim? Shout out to Kim.
For real.
And shout out to Nicki. Congratulations on those numbers, Nick. That's what's up. Let's go.
Kim also spoke about how Diddy kept her from taking part in some major career moves. She explained that she almost had the chance to be featured on Sisk's Thong Song, which turned into a huge hit. But Diddy told her to play hard to get, and because of that advice, the opportunity slipped away. Kim now believes that he was holding her back on purpose, but that wasn't the only time she felt blocked. Kim revealed that Michael Jackson himself wanted her to be part of one of his albums after hearing her music. Producer Rodney Jerkins told her that Michael loved her style and wanted her to join the project. Since Diddy was her manager at the time, they took the request to him, but nothing ever came of it. Kim said she was young back then and didn't really understand what was happening behind the scenes. Looking back now, she feels Diddy may have deliberately sabotaged that opportunity as well.
It's so crazy. Rodney Jerkins, he was working on Michael Jackson's album, and he was like, yo, I was playing Queen for Michael Jackson. And he was like, man, I love how she raps behind the beat, and it's so sexy. I was like, he said that?
What?
He was like, yeah. So I'm telling you that to say, we're trying to get you on the album.
Stop.
And I was like, what? I think I might, my leg is still trying to recover because I fell out the seat. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
You didn't get
so
on
let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
Puffy was my manager at the time.
Okay.
And when we brought it to Puffy, Puffy was like, Puffy can be a little bit controlling because I'm like his little sister. So I don't know. I don't know if him and Rodney were going through something at the time, but it just never happened because I was a kid, so I wasn't handling my business. But I remember seeing Rodney and he going, yo, what's up? I've been calling and you don't want to be on Michael Jackson's album? I was like, what? Are you crazy? Of course I do. But I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. So that was a missed opportunity, not due to anything I did, but like, I just, it was out of my control. Wow. And I really, 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 really just want to go somewhere and die.
And who's to say maybe, Lil Kim also knew much more about what really happened with Biggie as well.
He's the type of person to motivate you. He always wanted anyone to succeed. He always wanted everybody to have a better life for themselves. He was just hungry. He just wanted to make the album. If he could get 500,000 fans, he used to say, he happy. That's what he used to say. He was like a teddy bear. He was just so cudgy, and I thought he was really nice. And he had this way about him with women. He was different from and Ready to Die than Life After Death to me. He was a little bit more firm. You know what I mean? Because I guess he knew what was out there after that. He just got a little bit more mature and a little bit more business-wise. Big hated the fact that all of it was going on. He loved Tupac and everybody from the West that he had known. He loved them. He just knew that it was a bad thing when Tupac passed. He felt real bad. He knew that there were a lot of people out there that would probably be out there to get him, whether it's they wanted his money or whether they, just didn't like him because of the rumors. He knew it was people out there who wanted to get him, so he always felt for his safety. He felt the need for security.
Biggie first met Diddy in 1992, after Diddy came across an article about him in a magazine. Impressed by what he read, Diddy arranged a meeting with him. Not long after that, Biggie signed to Diddy's new label, Bad Boy Entertainment. Right when it officially launched in 1993, the following year, in 1994, Biggie released his debut album, Ready to Die, which turned into a massive success. Sadly, only a few years later, Biggie's life was cut short. He passed away in 1997. Since then, there have been ongoing rumors suggesting that Diddy may have had some connection to Biggie's death. Some have claimed that Biggie was preparing to leave Bad Boy, that this did not sit well with Diddy. Gene Deal has even speculated that this might have been the case.
Why is he out there?
Them to sue, but they never felt Diddy was responsible. Still, many fans weren't convinced by her defense. Some believed Faith was only protecting Diddy. Back then, there were also whispers that Faith and Diddy were a little too close, which created tension between Biggie and Diddy. To add to the controversy, Jaguar Wright even claimed that Diddy brought Faith in just to get to Biggie.
Diddy told her he was going to Biggie. She knew it was going to happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night. It happened, and she was told she had to lie about it. And guess what? That lie held up until that boy turned 18. And he started having ideas of what he wanted to do with what he inherited. Because the paperwork was set up for Faith to not be able to receive $1 from Biggie's estate unless it was for little Christopher. It's funny when you add.
Let me see what's in the briefcase. And I seen big contract. And it was talking about, well, you get $250,000, for signing. You're going to get another $250,000 if the thing go gold. Then you're going to get this much and you're going to get that much. And then at the end of the contract, I was skimming through it. At the end of the contract said, we're going to discuss about you getting your publishing and your marketing back. Right. So I was asking Big's questions about that because I didn't know what publishing was. I didn't know what marketing was. And Big was showing me a contract because I was saying to Big, Big was like, yo, Gene, I like you. I would take you with me, bruh, but you love that nigga too much. I said, love that too much? What do you mean I love a nigga too much? He said, yeah, you love him too much, bruh. I would take you with me. I said, how you gonna take me with you and you broke? He said, I'm broke. I said, yeah, you broke, man. You owe Mike Gadget $30,000 for the system and them drop boxes he put in your truck. And he was like, yo, how you know that? I said, talk and run their mouth, Big. Yo, he said, oh, shit. He said, but I'm about to get this money. So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Murray,
Tracy Lee,
and the commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million. It comes out to like $62 million.
And this is where the story becomes even more complicated. Gene Deal believes that Biggie was actually set up, and that his death was not just a random drive-by shooting, but something much more deliberate.
Biggie got right. How often do you think about that night? Because when I talk to you, I can tell that, that night, that still get to you. And I can tell, man, that you still replay that night over and over in your head, thinking about what you could have did to avoid Biggie.
The question now is, will she finally tell the world what she knows?